On Mountain News this morning, an Eastern Kentucky representative wants to change regulations for coal mining safety. And Kentucky legislation is getting closer to its budget goal every day of the session.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. We are coming up on 5:31 on Thursday, March 14th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Olivia, we're looking at a warm morning this morning. It's starting off as mild as 57 here as we look at Moorhead. I-64, quiet weather conditions. If you're driving early at this hour or will be very shortly, you won't have any weather problems. Be ready for some mild temperatures today as we climb well up into the 70s. Hazard right now, we're sitting at 46 with a partly cloudy to mostly clear sky. A couple of 30s, though, on the map this morning. If you're in Jonesville or Grundy, you've fallen back into the upper 30s. But you couple that with the warm readings around Jackson at 58, Lexington 57, along with Moorhead. You look to Louisville, it's as warm as 63 degrees at this hour. Satellite radar again shows partly cloudy to mostly clear conditions, just a few wispy clouds drifting by the area. Much more active, though, back to our west as you look here through the heart of the country. Several showers and thunderstorms, some even severe this morning in Missouri. We'll avoid the severe weather once the rain gets here, but it will move in late tonight and into tomorrow. Partly cloudy conditions to mostly clear for the drive this morning, and again, mild for later on this afternoon. Our high temperatures jump well up through the 60s into the 70s for later on this afternoon, Olivia, a mild pattern for us. I'll have more on when we cool down coming up.
All right, Mace, thank you. A representative from Estill County has sponsored a bill that would decrease the number of mine emergency technicians required to be on a shift. WYMT's Madison Carmouche spoke to a retired Mine Safety and Health Administration official about his concerns.
House Bill 85 would allow for coal operations to continue with just one mine emergency technician, or MET, in mines with crews of less than 10. The bill was sponsored by two Eastern Kentucky representatives, Bill Wesley and John Blanton, with the goal of keeping miners working and paid.
That's not a good idea. Anytime you put coal miner safety ahead of production, you're just endangering those people that are working there for you, and those are the people that are making you money.
The law went into effect in 2007 as a way to increase safety in the mines.
You just don't need to go backwards when you've had a bill working for 16 years just because a few co-operators decide it might hurt their production.
Roger Wilhoit is a retired federal coal mine inspector and says that miners deserve the sense of security that METs provide.
There's not a coal miner that has a long career that don't have some kind of injury during their career. I've had severe injuries underground. To know that those people got to me fast, got me out of the mines, got me in an ambulance, got me to a hospital.
Wilhoit adds that as the coal industry changes, the safety and sacrifices of miners past, present, and future need to remain at the forefront.
A lot of coal miners were killed in this mine. The laws that were changed and the safety regulations that were upgraded and so forth all those years were built and changed on the blood of those miners that gave their lives.
In Harlan County, Madison Carmouche, WYMT Mountain News.
House Bill 85 passed in the House 75-18 on Monday and now awaits approval in the Senate. A new 2-year spending plan for the state of Kentucky is a step closer to passing. With little debate, the full Kentucky Senate passed a $30 billion budget. The Senate version of the budget mirrors increasing classroom spending with the option of teacher raises decided by individual districts as the House passed. The Senate also included a 2.6% salary increase for state workers and a major increase in daily juror pay from $5 to $25.
But in the state's budget, we have long advocated that discipline is the thing that will get us to the appropriate resolution. And I think that the discipline we've shown over the last decade has given us the opportunities to make the investments we're making now.
You know, the fact of the matter is that it's clear that whenever you're in a budget process, you're not going to get everything you aspire for or what you think is important.
The Senate passed the executive branch budget 37-1 and will now likely enter a conference committee to iron out a compromise plan with the House. One man is dead after a crash on Interstate 75 in Whitley County. It happened a little after 7 Wednesday morning at the 15-mile marker southbound. State police say 66-year-old William Hoskins of London lost control of his vehicle, left the roadway, and hit a rock wall. Hoskins was taken to Baptist Regional Hospital in Corbin, where he died. We now know the name of the person accused of leading police on a chase on I-75. According to the Laurel County Sheriff's Office, the chase started on I-75 near the Richmond exit and ended around mile marker 41 in London. 42-year-old Samuel Lunn of Reynoldsburg, Ohio, was taken into custody. Young is charged with fleeing police, wanton endangerment, possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and numerous other traffic violations. The body of a missing East Tennessee man was found yesterday in Knox County. 86-year-old Curtis Mason of Harrogate was last seen on February 26th. Officials say he was found in the Goldens Creek area of Knox County after people said they had seen his van. No foul play is suspected. A prayer vigil will be held today for a Powell County 1-year-old who died after a house fire. Kiki was injured in a fire Friday morning. Her dad ran in to get her. He received serious burns. We reported earlier this week she died after being on life support. The vigil will be held at Clay City Park today at 5:30 p.m. Yesterday marks 4 years since the death of Breonna Taylor. She was shot inside her Louisville apartment during a botched drug raid. An officer shot her after her boyfriend fired a warning shot. He says he mistook officers for home intruders, and police had used a no-knock warrant. This week, Senator Rand Paul and Congressman Morgan McGarvey reintroduced the Justice for Breonna Taylor Act to ban no-knock warrants nationwide.
In so many of these cases, officers, I'm not saying that they don't have a right to be in some of these places, but they can do it in a safer manner, just to be safe themselves. Like, I don't think that this is a one-sided tool. I think it helps everybody all across the board.
None of the 3 former officers who fired their weapons during the raid were charged with killing Taylor. One of them, Brett Hankinson, was charged with wanton endangerment. A jury found him not guilty last year. Many are remembering an Eastern Kentucky firefighter killed in a crash in the line of duty. It happened around 5 Tuesday in Elliott County. State police say firefighter Frank Witt was working with the 504 Volunteer Fire Department. He was driving the fire truck when he lost control and went over an embankment. Troopers say another EMT, Drake Adams, died earlier that day in an unrelated accident. They say Witt was traveling to help escort him to the funeral home.
Anytime our community needed someone, they could call on him. He was a God-fearing Christian man. He would help anyone in need. He's loved by everyone who knew him. He will be sadly missed. This has truly been a tragedy for our county.
Other fire departments have crews helping the 504 Fire Department while members of the department cope with the loss. Appalachian Regional Healthcare invited the community to join them for a Healthy Sip Wednesday morning. Several providers were on hand at Hazard Coffee Company to provide a cup of free coffee and educate folks about the importance of colon screenings and more. March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month.
I would encourage anyone to reach out to their provider and have a conversation about if you should have a preventative screening. You know, if you have a family history or if you're age 45 or older, you should definitely be getting a preventative colonoscopy screening. and those can be arranged through your local doctor's office.
ARH is also hiring, and they host a career fair each Friday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. in the Hazard ARH Medical Center lobby. Yesterday, Feeding Kentucky hosted its annual Hunger-Free Day at the state capitol. Each year, the event is held to raise awareness about hunger across the state. During the event, Governor Andy Beshear signed a proclamation declaring March 13th Hunger-Free Kentucky Day. This comes amid a fight in Kentucky, in Frankfort, over House Bill 367, which would put more restrictions on SNAP benefits.
Solving hunger is not about red or blue. It's about right versus wrong. Far too often, we worry about party or team when we're taught that parable, the Good Samaritan, that says we're on everybody's team. Everyone is our neighbor, and we are to treat everyone with compassion.
The governor also addressed House Bill 367, saying it would hurt the most vulnerable. It would change the food assistance program SNAP and adjust who's eligible. Those against the bill say it could lead to thousands of people losing SNAP benefits. The governor says if the bill makes it to his desk, he will veto it. Lawrence County Superintendent Robbie Fletcher says it's an honor to be considered with the other two finalists for Kentucky's next education commissioner. Fletcher released a statement yesterday saying in part, quote, "If selected, I would approach the role of commissioner with the same all-in spirit that the students of Lawrence County have taught me in my role as superintendent." Fletcher says he's been blessed to serve students in several different counties in various capacities. And when we return, Barbie is helping brides walk down the aisle with its newly announced wedding gown line.
A warm day is ahead for today with a partly to mostly sunny sky. Highs will climb up into the upper 70s. Full forecast talking about a cool down coming. That in a few minutes.